Objective Geology, multiple choice questions with answers. This is the solved question paper of CGPS Mining Inspector 2014 question paper, and I hope this solved question paper is useful for various competitive exams like CSR, NET, GATE, GSI and other exams. Welcome to set 1. Coming to the first question. In the Himalayan mountain belt, one can find abundant A. Normal falls and folds, B. Thrusts and folds, C. Strike slip falls and bending of rock strata, D. Gravity induced sag structures. So the correct option is B. Thrusts and folds. A fold and thrust belt, that is FTB, it is a series of mountainous foothills which are adjacent to an orogenic belt which forms due to contractional tectonics, and fold and thrust belts, they commonly form in the forelands which are adjacent to major orogens as deformation propagates outwards. So in the Himalayan mountain belt we can find abundant thrusts and folds. B is the correct option. Next question. Those joints that strike in the direction which lie between strike and dip direction of the strata is called A. Dip joints, B. Oblique joints, C. Strike joints, D. Shear joints. So the correct option is oblique joints. Oblique joints are joints that strike in a direction that lies between the strike and dip of the strata. B. Oblique joints is the correct one. Next question. P-wave shadow zones recorded by seismologists indicate the boundary between A. Lower and upper crust, B. Inner core and outer core, C. Lower mantle and outer core, D. Transition zone and lower mantle. So the correct option is C. Lower mantle and outer core. The P-wave shadow zone indicates the boundary between the lower mantle and the liquid outer core of the earth. And the P-wave shadow zone, it is a region where P-waves are not detected by seismometers because they are refracted away from the original path as they pass through the transition between the mantle and the core. So this is due to the fact that the seismic velocities are much lower in the liquid outer core than in the mantle. So the size of the shadow zones, they can be used to calculate the size of the core and the location of the core mantle boundary as well. So C, lower mantle and outer core is the correct option. Next question. The mafic minerals contain more of, this is a very simple question, A. Aluminum and silica, B. Magnesium and iron, C. Calcium and copper, D. Manganese and aluminum. The mafic minerals contain more of magnesium and iron. Next question. The epicenter of a deep focus earthquake is located A. On the earth's surface, B. Below a depth of 70 kilometers, C. Between 70 to 30 kilometers, and D. Below 300 kilometers. So the correct option is D. Below 300 kilometers. The epicenter of a deep focus earthquake, it is located below 300 kilometers. Next question. Which one of the following is an example of an isostatic movement? A. Stream downcutting following a drop in the sea level, B. Arching of strata at the center of a dome, C. Numerous, and D. Uplift of areas recently covered by thick continental ice sheets. So the correct option is D. Uplift of areas recently covered by thick continental ice sheets. The uplift of areas covered by thick continental ice sheets is an example of isostatic adjustment. Isostatic adjustment, it is the ongoing movement of land that was once covered by ice sheets, and the process, this process of glacial isostatic adjustment, that is also known as GIA. Next question. In extensional tectonic regimes of the earth, we commonly observe A. Normal fault, B. Thrust, C. Vertical fault, and D. Reverse fault. So the correct option is A. Normal fault. Normal faults are commonly observed in extensional tectonic regimes of the earth. A normal fault is a dip slip fault where the block above the fault moves down relative to the block below. Next question. Which one of the following does not form a good aquifer? A. Jointed basalt, B. Massive granite, C. Tills, D. Sandstone. So the correct option is B. Massive granite. So where the jointed basalt, tills and sandstones, they serve as a good aquifer, and massive granite, it does not act as a good aquifer. Next question. Which one of the following is not a good reservoir rock for petroleum? The choices are A. Limestone, B. Sandstone, C. Mudstone, and D. Reef bound stone. So the correct option is C. Mudstone. Mudstone is not a good reservoir rock for petroleum. Next question. Weathering of feldspar minerals may result in which one of the following sets of products? A. Clays, calcium, sodium, potassium ions and dissolved silica. B. Iron oxides, calcium, iron, magnesium, manganese ions. C. Iron, magnesium ions, manganese oxides and clays. And D. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, iron ions, clays, iron, manganese oxides. The correct option is A. Clays, calcium, sodium, potassium ions and dissolved silica. The weathering of feldspar minerals, they can result in clays and the release of calcium and sodium, and the weathering of feldspar also releases calcium, sodium, silica and other elements into the water. Next question. In convergent plate tectonic setting, thickest continental lithosphere is associated with A. Ocean-ocean convergent setting, B. Ocean-continent convergent setting, C. Continent-continent collision setting, D. Ocean-ocean divergent setting. In convergent plate tectonic setting, the thickest continental lithosphere is associated with ocean-continent convergent setting. In this oceanic continent convergence setting, an oceanic plate subducts beneath the continental plate, and the oceanic plate is denser than the continental plate, so it sinks into the mantle, and the melted rock from the subducted oceanic plate, it rises as magma through the continental plate, often form a chain of volcanoes. So the thickest continental lithosphere is associated with oceanic continent convergence setting. Next question. Which one of the following subdivision of the Himalayas is constituent of crystalline metamorphic rocks only? A. Lesser Himalaya, B. Tethys Himalaya, C. Outer Himalaya, D. Greater Himalaya. The correct option is Outer Himalaya. It is a subdivision of the Himalaya that is a constituent of crystalline metamorphic rocks. Next question. Which one of the following shows the correct order of lithotectonic subdivisions of the Himalaya from south to north? A. Lesser Himalaya, Outer Himalaya, Tethys Himalaya and Greater Himalaya. B. Outer Himalaya, Lower Himalaya, Greater Himalaya and Tethys Himalaya. And C. Outer Himalaya, Lesser Himalaya, Tethys Himalaya and Greater Himalaya. D. Lesser Himalaya, Outer Himalaya, Greater Himalaya and Tethys Himalaya. So the correct order of tectonic subdivisions of Himalayas from south to north is Outer Himalaya followed by Lower Himalaya, then Greater Himalaya and Tethys Himalaya. B is the correct option. Next question. The main boundary thrust it separates A. Greater Himalaya from Tethys Himalaya, B. Lesser Himalaya from Greater Himalaya, C. Outer Himalaya from Lesser Himalaya and D. Outer Himalaya from Gangetic Plain. The main boundary thrust it separates Outer Himalaya from Lesser Himalaya. The main boundary thrust is also known as MBT. It separates the Outer Himalaya from the Lesser Himalayas. The MBT is a series of seismic faults that are formed when the Indian plates collide with the Eurasian plate in the Cenozoic. It's made up of several fragments including the Murray and the Drang thrust faults, the Kroll thrust fault, the Surkit-Gorai thrust fault and the Kathmandu thrust and the Gondwana or Garu thrust. Next question. Upper tertiary rocks dominate in A. Tethys Himalaya, B. Outer Himalaya, C. Greater Himalaya and D. Lesser Himalaya. Upper tertiary rocks dominate in Outer Himalaya. Next question. The hypothesis the life on the earth plays an important role in regulating the planetary climate is known as A. Gaia hypothesis, B. Uniformitarianism, C. Sustainability hypothesis, D. Gutenberg hypothesis. So the correct option is A. Gaia hypothesis. The hypothesis that life on the earth plays an important role in regulating the planetary climate is known as Gaia hypothesis. A dam is an example of which type of system? A. Natural, B. Modified, C. Controlled and D. Uncontrolled. A dam is an example of a controlled type of system. So C is the correct option. Next question. The environmental system that is not affected by human interference is known as A. Natural system, B. Ecosystem, C. Controlled system, D. Closed system. The environmental system that is not affected by human interference is known as natural system. A is the correct option. Next question. The study of history of an organism from its death to the pre-burial stage is known as ecology, B. Diagenesis, C. Morphogenesis, D. Biostratigamy. The correct option is D. Biostratigamy. Biostratigamy, it is a study of the process that occur to an organism from the time of its death until it is buried. So it is a branch of taphonomy. Taphonomy is nothing but the study of fossil preservation. So the study of history of an organism from its depth to the pre-burial stage is known as biostratigamy. D is the correct option. Next question. Which of the following are restricted to Paleozoic rocks only? A. Bivalvia, B. Cephalopod, C. Echinoidea, D. Graptolithina. So the correct option is D. Graptolithina. So graptolites are found only in the Paleozoic rocks such as those in Scotland, Wales and northwestern England, and the oldest dendroids occur in the Middle Cambrian rocks, but they can be found in rocks as young as the Carboniferous. And planktonic graptolites, they are particularly common in Ordovician and Silurian shales and mudstone. So Graptolithina, these are restricted to Paleozoic rocks only. D is the correct option. Hope you have followed the content and the questions. See you in the next video. Hope you can explore geosciences, and hope you can subscribe. Thank you.